Have you been having that? What have you been doing out here? They haven't had to mic up? You haven't had nobody mic up?
No, we waited on you.
I'm back to jerky and coffee, and I'm not happy about it. America. You know what this means? It means Shane got fat again. It sucks. So, I'm a little bit cranky. If you had to work with that all day, wake up every day knowing that that's what your daughter chose to marry.
Screw you too, buddy.
I mean, basically we've got a very big goal that we're trying to hit by April. We want to have 2 Brewsters out. Well, 1 Brewster and 1 BrewSkid. Like, whoa, what's BrewSkid? This is BrewSkid. Basically, we're gonna have 2 of these out by the end of March. That's our goal, which means I also have to have a Sloppy Joe, which we're building from scratch. So it'll be our unique design for servicing these. That has to be there. We've opened up a commissary / restaurant partnership that we're working on the final deals of that. So we'll have our restaurant kind of like we do in Florida. And we're also in the middle of negotiations on 2 brick and mortar drive-throughs that we're putting in Billings and in Butte. So our goal is to have all that done by July. So by the middle of the year, we should have in Montana 2 coffee shops in the hospital, a restaurant, 2 drive-throughs, and 3 Brewsters. So that's pretty aggressive. Meanwhile, back in Florida, they're still pumping out Brewsters about every other month. We are up to 3 locations now, and they're working on the 4th. Coffee shop's growing. People are loving the coffee. Everything's going good. Manufacturing process sucks. Materials are changing on every single build. Prices are continuing to be completely unreasonable. Can't get the same doors we used to use. Got to go to a completely different door. So we're having to constantly. Seriously, dude? Reinvent. We have to constantly reinvent the way we're building these. So the BrewSkid story, basically not the county, but in the city limits of Billings, they're more sophisticated when it comes to what we're doing with coffee shops, even the drive-thrus. So not necessarily mobile drive-thrus, but let's just call them, for lack of a better term, kiosk drive-thrus. So people have been putting skids out in the middle of parking lots that people could drive up to for years. There's pros and cons to the fact that they're more sophisticated. Number one, they're open to power, water, and sewer hookups. So as long as we're willing to pay to have it done and have it done professionally, we can put hookups to our units. Big problem for us in Florida is just gone, solved. Long story short, because of that sophistication, they have rules. That's the bad side of the equation. So within this county, we're fine. And I think in most areas in Montana, we'll be fine with Brewsters. But within the city limits of Billings, if you go over a certain square footage, you have to be, they're gonna treat you like an actual build, almost like a brick and mortar. So your entire build has to be engineered, everything has to be signed off on, and it just gets really complicated and really expensive really quick. If you stay below a certain square footage, then you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. And you can still get hookups. So that's all good news. So instead of panicking and freaking out, what am I doing? I'm downsizing. So Brewster, we had that up to being about 25 foot long. We took this down to 15 feet. So I had to cut off 10 feet. We've played with it a little bit already in the interior. I'm pretty sure I can fit everything in here that we put into a Brewster. Whoa, you say. Well, the reason is we don't have any wheel wells. So by getting rid of those wheel wells and turning it into a skid, I was able to pick up enough space where I can hide my tanks and some of that stuff and still put together what we need to put together as far as equipment. We will be lacking in storage space. We're gonna get it more creative and try to add some more there, but it will never be what the Brewster is. I mean, you can't take away almost half the size and end up with the exact same amount of storage space, but we will be equipped the same. We've got a lot going on. I mean, Quentin just got back from training on the espresso machines. We've became a dealer for a major brand there. I'd tell you what it is, I just don't know if I'm supposed to. So We now provide our own espresso machines, service our own espresso machines nationwide. Just getting closer and closer to being able to really swing harder on a bigger area. So you can kind of see the shape of this is similar. You still got your 2 drive-through windows. I kept this space up here the same because that all works out really good. I've decided to embrace everything on this. So cost, everything on this, I'm going for less expensive, okay? So if I have to do this, I might as well try to turn it into something we can build faster, build for less money, get rid of some of the frills. The Brewster is always going to be the Cadillac. We're not cutting anything back there, but for example, if I'm not putting wheels on it so it can be moved easily, why do I need to have retractable canopies? I don't. So yes, it's going to take us a couple hours to set one of these up, maybe even a half a day, but it's going to go there, stay there, which most Brewsters are doing now anyhow. And we don't have to put all of that extra money into the raise and lowering deck, the retractable canopies. So I'm kind of doing that everywhere, not in areas that you'll see and that matter. The top railings that are going to go up there are going to be something that can easily be taken on and off. The canopy can be easily taken on and off because we don't want that height, because we're going to be putting this thing on a trailer that's 30 inches tall. So it's going to be higher up than a Brewster would be. I can't have all that high stuff up there, will be too tall. So a lot of that stuff's going to happen on site when we set it up. I'll let you know how that goes when we set it up for the first time. I chose to not build the trailer for this one, but I am building the trailer for Sloppy Joe. The reason is just time. So right now I've got 1 month to have that Brewster and Sloppy Joe ready for me to hit my goal. If we pull this off, it'll be a miracle. And then what we're hoping for is to head to Anaconda somewhere in the June area so we can work on the remodel of the one we're getting up in Butte. And then we can start working on our buildings and our other projects there. So for that to happen, man, he's gonna have to really do a good job of hiring. I mean, when you think about that, everybody's telling you can't hire anybody right now. And we're fixing to beyond duplicate our Florida operation in about a 3-month period of time. From now, it's only about 2 months. So she's gonna have to really hustle to get some help lined up, both management and in staff.